welcome to another CF3 Partycast from Project-Nerd. I'm Dane. Actually, I'm Dane Michael Frog today, if you can't tell.
Frog.
And introduce yourself, Mr. Monster Vision.
Mr. Monster Vision, El Jefe, or The Jefe, Jeff Johnson. And
Jeff,
what are you doing over there? Yeah.
Before we get to Dames, what are you drinking here?
I am, unfortunately, I am drinking Pepsi, zero sugar, but it tastes delicious. It's Pepsi. It's 80s. It still works for me. This is what I grew up with, Pepsi.
Okay. Well, I'm drinking Dad's root beer, second shelf. This is my shelf. Don't touch anything on it. And Dames Marvs, what are you eating over there?
It's noodles.
Those are worms.
They're worms, dude.
No, they're not.
What do you drink? What are you washing those worms down with?
Oh, well, I'm happy that you asked because I got 10 bags of 200 cc's of O negative.
Is that a rare one or is that the common one?
I don't know.
It looks like fruit punch to me.
Got his fair share of rum in it, Jeff.
Hey,
well, look who's joining us, you guys. From TV Tangents, it is Rebecca Frog Markus. She married away from the frog name, but she is one of us, and happy to slay some vampires. Welcome, Rebecca. What are you drinking today?
Thank you. Well, in honor of the two chicks that are in this movie, I'm drinking two chicks, whiskey, spicy ginger, and orange cocktail.
Who is it besides Jamie Gertz?
I'm the mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do have a root beer for Grandpa because I don't want to leave him out.
Oh, I wonder how many different kinds of root beer we can get. I wasn't able to tell what he was drinking.
Yeah, I didn't find it.
Next up from Virgin Mary Pistol Grip for the first time ever on CF3, it's Jales Hupke. Jales, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me. This is amazing. Hi, Rebecca. Long time no see.
Yeah.
Are you dressed like a vampire, or is that just your clothes?
Well, this is just my clothes. Yeah, so yes, I'm dressed like a vampire.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, I ordered teeth, but they Amazon dropped the ball. Jeff Bezos, please, like.
He's busy in outer
space.
space.
They were supposed to be here yesterday, and it's the first time I've ever had anything not show up.
I already took mine out, Jales.
Dang.
Okay, next up from Roseblood, Friday the 13th fan film, which has yet to premiere, but it will soon.
Okay, you can introduce me now.
Jessica Hottman. Welcome back, Jessica. You joined us for our last Partycast, Overboard. But I think you're going to like this movie a little bit more if those just things displayed around you.
My VHS here, my DVD, and behind me, Rob Lowe himself making an appearance on my actual door.
Instead of upside down this time.
It's not upside down, so you can get the full perspective here.
Jessica, do you have any food or drink that relates to this in any way, or?
I have a nice cup of vampire blood. Or is it wine? We'll never know.
Well, let's see you drink it, and I'll gauge your reaction.
Oh, it's blood.
It's blood.
Blood for sure. Jales, I forgot to ask you if you're drinking anything.
Weird. I think I served hers up for. I have a whole
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You're not hiding it all.
Which side is it? Oh, here we go. Oh, hey. I don't hide.
Oh, let's get another person in here. Rejoining us again, you were also on the Overboard Partycast. Mojo, or Melissa Jo Murphy from the IDS trilogy. We won't get into that anymore. What's your pillow say? Popcorn?
Well, whatever. It's, like movie.
Generic.
Now showing a pillow.
Yeah. Second trip back. Oh, no, it's sad to say that.
Bringing in Matthew Blevins, first time guest ever, comedian. And what's your poster?
Synecdoche, New York. It was a Charlie Kaufman movie from way back in the day.
Does that got Phil Seymour Hoffman in it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it was a great film. I'm dressed as the dad that left Lucy with those teenage boys. So that's my I was gonna do like the shirt.
You got the bod and everything.
I do, because I was gonna try like the shirtless, greased up saxophone player look,
Oh
but
my gosh.
I screwed up the white balance on my camera. Had to get a whole different camera. It's a whole ordeal. But
where's the saxophone? Prove it.
I would have stolen one from my middle school age son for sure for this. But again, I'm not going shirtless. I just I don't think I would subject you guys to that.
Are you drinking anything?
I'm drinking bottled water because I think Lucy was an underrated character, and also hydration is very important, you guys. Very important. I'm 41. Come on.
It feels to me like you could
okay. It's holy water.
Holy water.
But that's a way better. Yeah, Dames, you got it. That's it. That's exactly what
I digress. Last but not least.
Oh, guess who I am?
It's the dude.
Now we got a party.
Well, we don't have to guess.
Sparking one up.
I'll be portraying Grandpa this evening.
And forevermore.
Mike the Vampire Kallio, director, producer, actor, makes special features on DVDs and things like that. What are you working on currently? I know there's a lot of projects. Howard the Doc, you're a producer of that.
That I'm producing helping produce a documentary about the band Haunted Garage.
Okay.
Not familiar with Haunted Garage. They're kind of an anomaly here in Los Angeles. They only made one record, but have had variations of band members, and they're a gore band. They throw crap at people from off stage, and
LA's Guar.
They're sort of LA's Guar, and the lead singer not too long ago had a brain tumor, and it was successfully removed. But there's a long history. As a matter of fact, the lead singer is the lead in the movie, the trauma classic "Surf Nazis Must Die."
Yeah.
So, and then my doc on Gunnar Hansen, the original Leatherface, amongst other things. You know, I'm a mover. I'm a shaker.
And you spend a lot of time at the Griffith Park Observatory.
I do.
From your Facebook.
Which
I would too if I lived that close to it.
I go there to cry.
Little sister. All right, guys.
So thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on this Near Dark podcast. I love it.
Oh.
The Lost Boys, you guys.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Let's start. Okay, Jessica Hottman. First time you saw Lost Boys, were you taken by it? Were you taken in?
I was taken in. I was at a bar called Night Owl back when I was living in Nebraska, and they play just all kind of cult films at the bar on this big screen.
Great bar.
Familiar? And the movie was playing, and I was so enamored that I couldn't stay focused on the conversation that I was having with the person I was with. And I was like, what am I seeing behind you right now? And I ended up watching the film shortly after that and immediately fell in love with it, wanted to be a lost boy, or a lost girl, if you will. So, yeah, I love this film.
Now, Mike, you told me that you were a lost boy for a while after seeing this.
In 1987, when this movie came out, I saw this movie over 35 times in the theater. And I had a connection. There was this old black gentleman who tore tickets. He's a senior citizen who tore tickets. It was his job to get out of the house because his wife drove him nuts. And I would walk up to him and fake hand him a ticket, and he'd tear it and fake hand me a half ticket back, and I'd walk into the theater. I did that. That was the year I saw Lost Boys and RoboCop too many times. But when I was younger, I was in high school in '87. I had the buzz cut with the mullet. And I wore a black trench coat. And I dabbled in special effects, so I made my own fangs, and I grew my nails out long, but I flattened them. They weren't pointy; they were flat, like the ones in the Lost Boys, because I was a nerd.
So before we move on to favorite lines in this, is there anybody else who has like a deep connection with the first time they saw this that would like to tell that story?
Well, I saw it in 1991. I was about to become 16. I think I watched it. I made everybody watch it at my 16th birthday. And from then on out, for the rest of high school, I wanted my outward persona to be the Lost Boys, to cover up my nerdy inward persona. But yeah, I went full Lost Boys.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's get into some of our favorite lines. Who has one that they just want to start off with? James Wires? Are you? I mean, you're drinking blood, so you look fine, but...
I have here in my hand a television guide. This particular one has Marky Post, rest in peace. But basically, you don't need TV if you have TV Guide.
Right.
That's my favorite line.
But there's another TV-related line. You know what it means when there's no TV? No MTV.
That's true.
MTV turned 40, you guys, and we should...
Because no MTV now, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal.
I know. That line just makes me, like, long for a time when MTV actually was something to get excited about. It wasn't just
30 years ago.
It wasn't just, like, ridiculousness on a current, like, a constant stream. Jales, did you write down any lines from us? Have you ever seen this movie before?
Yes, I have. I actually watched it as a kid, and then Dames Marvs asked me to do this, so I watched it again, and I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember this movie.
I remember why I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, the Corey's weird. Okay. I wrote two down. Great, the blood-sucking Brady Bunch, just because I like quotes that refer to other shows. And then try it with holy water. Dead breath.
Dead Matthew Blevins, were you instructed by Dames to write down any lines?
No, but I know which one I loved the most, and that was because I'm a dad, and it was second shelf is mine. That's where I keep my root beers and double thick Oreo cookies. I mean, that was Grandpa was my guy.
He's really an underrated character until the end. Mike Kallio, 35 times. Did you even have to write down anything, or do you remember anything?
No, I know the movie pretty much by heart. The last line of the movie is probably one of the best last lines of the movie of a movie ever. So yeah, you got to go with like one thing about Santa Carla I never could stomach: all the damn vampires.
So is he an asshole for like letting them move there?
Probably. Little warning would have been nice.
Just kooky.
Grandpa was.
Jeff, what did you write down for a line?
Well, I wrote down that one that Mike just did, but I also liked goddamn shit-sucking vampires. You wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
Family show.
And Mojo.
Not this movie.
You know how this works.
I know. I was stammering because I already been said now like twice, the second shelf, because I love Grandpa. Grandpa's my favorite. I even have recast it in mind of how, but whatever. That's it. You guys took it. Oh.
Okay. Anything Grandpa said or did.
Right.
Who didn't get their favorite line said?
I did.
Oh, Rebecca.
Okay. Well, Grandpa, I love Grandpa because he reminds me of my grandpa. But my favorite line, I think, is when he's going to visit the widow Johnson and he's taking her some stuffed things. And one of the kids says to him, "What did you stuff for her, Mr. Johnson?" I think it was. That's my favorite.
Jessica. There's got to be some stuff left because there's things I've written down.
Stuff left. One of my favorite scenes, which also has one of my favorite lines, is when you have Grandpa and Sam and they're in the car, and Grandpa starts up the car and they're like going to town, and then he turns it off, and Sam's like, "I thought you said we were going to town," and Grandpa's like, that's as close to town as I like to get. So I love that one. And then I also like the part with Grandpa. Again, he's got so many lines where he's like, is anything going to pass for aftershave around here? And then Sam suggests Windex, and then he puts Windex on.
He's like, yeah, that's great.
It's an aphrodisiac.
Nobody said, holy shit, the attack of Eddie Munster.
Have that on my list too.
Jales, it refers to another show.
Also,
Yeah,
the
no
Fire
shit.
Gun is referred to.
Dang it.
Death by stereo.
Did anybody write down a serious, like a really serious line?
Might have one in here.
I wrote this one down. You'll never grow old, Michael, and you'll never die. But you must.
I'll pray.
Got one from Iggy.
I'll never need to call you.
Don't kill anyone until we get back to you. That was towards the denouement of the film. Oh, nobody said death by stereo. Come on, that is...
I just did a minute ago, buddy.
All the lines are good. It's all good.
That's legendary, you guys. Death by stereo. Okay. We trashed the one that looked like Twisted Sister. I think that's it. But nobody really said any lines from David except for me, because you don't know it, but you have to admit it. Every time he says a line, he says like Michael 2 times in that line. He's like, Michael, this was renovated from whatever till the fault lines destroyed it, Michael. Michael, a billion people can't be wrong, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Count the number of times Michael Kallio that he says Michael in that.
That should be a drinking game.
It's absurd.
Seriously.
No,
Go ahead, Mike.
another drinking game would be anytime someone says Maximus in Gladiator. You'll be dead in 20 minutes.
No,
Dane,
I tried it.
I tried it
Question
once.
for everyone, Dane Michael.
You don't say people's names that much in regular conversation, so it drove me nuts. Like,
Dane, I say a lot of people's names, Dane.
Yeah, Dane. I like to say Dane a few times when I'm talking to you, Dane.
That's what I wake up and
Michael.
say.
Dane.
I go, oh, Dane.
Dane Michael.
And then I'm out with my day.
Dane, come on, Dane. Really?
Rebecca Frog Markus,
Yeah.
are you familiar with a little game we like to play called Total Recast? Rebecca Frog Markus?
Of course I am. I've heard the theme song a couple times.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, you might have.
For the memory of a lifetime, recast, recast, recast.
Your husband, Greg, helped us.
I haven't heard
Triple
that.
G right there. Triple G. Greg. Man.
Total Recast, you guys. It is time, and we're going to start with, because she was not prepared last time, and she just, she was about to take a drink, and she's about to now. Murph, you're up. Total Recast. So just replace one role. Start with one. If you have more than one, just replace the one for now. And it can either be placing somebody time period appropriate from the original production or a reboot.
Okay. Just one.
Just one for now. And then if after everybody's gone, you
Okay.
can go.
I'm gonna, even though I love Grandpa, I'm gonna change it. Grandma. It has to be Kathy Bates.
You're going to make it grandma. and
Oh.
We have a gender change.
I know. Ooh.
In a reboot or a really young grandma back in '87?
In a reboot.
Okay.
Reboot, like, I don't want to touch the original, so it's just like in a reboot scenario.
I get it. I get it.
Flip the gender, Kathy Bates, because she's my favorite crazy lady.
Jeff, Total Recast. Jeff?
The Jeff.
I'd go something a little different with the original. Can you not hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. I'd go replacing Jason Patrick with River Phoenix.
Ooh.
Oh. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he was alive still. Okay. He would have been like similar in age to. I don't think he would have been that older of a brother.
Can you not hear me? What's up?
Okay, we're moving on. Jessica Hottman, total recast.
Okay.
No, he was 17 at the time when this was made.
Defending yourself. Going well.
We can believe it, you know, we can believe it for now. Okay, so I was thinking about if this film was made in modern day, and the person that kept coming to mind was I would replace, I mean, not replace, just, you know, if we were doing a new version here, I would make David Dacker Montgomery. He plays Billy in Stranger Things in the 2nd and 3rd season, and he's all crazy and wild, and I feel like if we were going to do a new version, he could really, like, you know, do the leather jacket, motorcycle, insane vampire.
He plays a really good, like,
he does, yeah.
creep that you want to just punch.
It's funny because I feel like his look is so Michael.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they made his look off of Michael, but then like the craziness.
Yeah, he's just inspired by both of those characters, like, more together. So he needs to be in the film regardless, the new one, if that's such a thing.
Mike, what do you got for us here? With all this film burning.
I get
recast.
that.
I would say if it's modernized, I would go Christopher Walken as Grandpa.
Didn't you use Christopher Walken in the last time you were on CF3 in your recast?
Probably, but Christopher Walken is amazing.
Probably about another like 15 minutes longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do it Christopher Walken, or I would, but there's all that space between his lines.
One thing I can't stand about Santa Clara. Oh, goddamn vampires.
I watched that.
Wow.
There's too many of them.
Rebecca, rescue this
Okay.
mechanic.
I did a 2021 all-female recast.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm only going to tell you my main person because I didn't think of any others. I replaced Kiefer Sutherland's David with Miley Cyrus, the leader of the rogue vampires.
I love that.
So that's
Now I want to hear the rest.
Okay. My cat wants my maggots, but while we're sorting that out, while we're sorting this
How they
out,
taste, Dane Michael?
How do they taste?
How are your maggots, Dane Michael?
he likes it.
Do your maggots taste?
Oh my!
Jales.
I'm sorry.
All right,
You're
I'll go. Mine actually is a 2-in-1 combo, so I kind of have to do two. I wanted to do both the Coreys, switched out for both the Pauls, Logan and Jake Paul, because I just thought it would be funny that you had two Coreys and now we would have two Pauls.
That's
You had
ironic.
another one that you told me.
Oh, I know. I will save that one. Don't.
No, do it now. Just do it now.
I'm just saying one. I could say
No
this
one
one.
else is
Dane,
going
and
to take
this.
it. Do it now.
Oh yeah, you're right. So in a new recast, instead of using the squirt guns, they should have used super soakers now, and they would just kick the shit out of everyone.
Holy water super soakers.
Holy water super
Badass.
soakers.
You're recasting a weapon.
Yeah, we're recasting weapons.
Why not?
Serious, like the movie would be over right there, though.
First ever recasting of a weapon that goes to Jales Hupke.
Virgin pistol grip, guns. I don't know.
Matthew
even like
Blevins.
All right, this might be controversial, but
Ooh.
the role of Sam, I'm gonna have Corey Feldman play the role of Sam, and he's gonna remain a frog brother because personally, I'll take two Feldmans over one Haim any day of the week. That might ostracize me from some people that are familiar with the '80s, but it's Feldman for me all the way.
Try working with him. Then you'll change.
I bet.
I'm on board with you. I'm on board with you, Blevins, and here's why. This movie made me embarrassed to be a little brother. It made me embarrassed for like little brothers everywhere because of Corey Haim. He's so pathetic in this? Like, why is he like nudging up against his brother's neck right here?
It's adorable.
Why was he singing in the bathtub? Like,
because he's thinking of Charlie Sheen.
I think that's normal brother stuff. I've never been a brother.
Yeah, Dane and Dames, I've seen you two doing that all the time together. You're always rubbing up against Dames' neck.
I was gonna say all those times we sang in the bathtub together meant nothing to you.
James, if I was ever that much of like a total fucking dork of a little brother,
don't finish.
I apologize.
Why did I just think of Dames and Dane in the bathtub doing the "I Believe" song?
Has it happened?
Well, it's probably happened.
Because you had like a hidden camera in there, probably.
Whoa.
I got to make films somehow.
James Marvs, who are you going to recast?
I love the original cast of this, but I also love my idea. I basically think this movie is Karate Kid, so I want to recast the two main characters, the good guy, the bad guy. Michael, I would cast with Ralph Macchio, and Kiefer Sutherland I'm going to give to William Zabka, just because I think that would be funny.
Interesting.
Do they do the fight in the midair, kicking and stuff?
What's the running tally on how many times he's cast somebody from Karate Kid or Back to the Future?
You know what my secondary one? My secondary one was I was going to have it be Michael J. Fox versus Eric Stoltz, so they could get their real life fight in the movie.
I got to tell you guys, Lennox is into these maggots.
Dinner time.
Dude.
Lennox Stream, how do they taste?
So my total recast here. I don't know if you guys remember Edward Herman. He was in the last movie that we did. He was in Overboard. He was singing Tofuti, Tofuti. He was a total douchebag, and I recast him in that. And I think his name is Max in this.
Yep.
I am recasting him again. Let's see. The reason why is because I don't like his face, but also I would have gone with Donald Sutherland, but then it would be like a total dead giveaway that he is a vampire, or like the head of the vampires, right? So I was like, I gotta go in a totally different direction. And Harold Ramis is who I would cast, because you would be totally floored at the end if he wound up being a bad guy.
I would have gone John Larroquette if you were going to do a Night Court reference there,
but you would totally buy Larroquette being a dick too.
Oh yeah,
because he is. I mean, Dan Fielding was a total douche. I got to get the maggots out of here because my cat is obsessed with them.
That's why I wouldn't have cast Walken as Max, because it'd be like, oh Jesus Christ, yeah, he's the vampire.
Exactly.
I would have replaced Alex Winter with Keanu.
I think the jacket gave away Max from the beginning, though, because I'm like, if she dates him, I mean, these crimes against fashion alone are a dead giveaway. These are red flags, lady.
Hey, he was just trying to be hip and cool, like his boys.
He had neon artwork in his house, for Christ's sake.
True, he should have been burned at the stake, and not because he was a vampire.
Right, just because of the neon art. Yeah.
I love Edward Herman. Just saying.
I do too.
I do
too. But when he does this,
but I love Edward Herman.
When he goes with his tongue, I go, "All right, come on."
I was the head vampire myself in my female reboot. I brought back Jamie Gertz as Star. She's still Star, but now she's the head vampire, and she's taking over the video store. But it's a dispensary now because nobody gets videos. That's part of my
more sense.
I wanted to throw that in there.
That's way more sense. You know.
What do you hand out to little kids at the dispensary though, instead of lollipops?
Balloons.
I like it that because Gertz can be totally unlikable if you've ever seen Twister. Is anybody as deep a sleeper as Grandpa is? By the way, in real life, do any of you?
Yeah. No. My dog is.
Do you have your dog? Does it look like what's the
You want to see my
Does your dog
Hound
look
of
like
Hell?
Nanook?
You want to see my Hound of Hell?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Horrifying.
Everyone's reaction is adorable.
Here's my reaction to that. Ah, get away from me!
That'd be my dog out in the rest of the house.
This is Jeff's dog before completing the training and grading out of.
This is what happens when my dog attacks.
You get
Very violent.
cuddled. Gotcha.
You have an interesting
what's
goiter there. Oh, it's a dog.
My neck pillow.
Does anybody else have fangs?
No, but I have garlic.
I tried to find my old one, but
Oh wait, hold on.
I bet you hate garlic. Okay.
oh.
This broadcast is brought to you by garlic. It doesn't really work, as it turns out. It doesn't really work, right? Is that what we established?
Not if you invite someone into your home, no.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying the rules. I got to tell you guys that I do not actually, I don't get or like vampire-related content in pop culture. Like pretty much anything. I don't like it.
Twilight.
Am I the only one?
I'm not a huge fan as well.
So like Vampire Diaries, True Blood, no.
No.
Interview with the Vampire, no thank you.
What? Leather.
True Blood was interesting for one season.
I like Count Chocula. That's about
I
it.
thought Jeff was gonna say one scene and like all the nude scenes or something like
It was
that.
interesting for one season. It
for
got
me,
bad
if
after
it's
that.
good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. I don't seek out stuff, but
Yeah.
I love Near Dark. I love the Lost Boys.
I was gonna say Near Dark is probably the next best one.
Do you guys know
Yeah.
how many good vampire things there are?
How
One.
many?
Two.
Oh yeah, the Count is the best. The Count
Four.
from Sesame
There are
Street is the best
four
vampire.
good vampire things.
And I will give a nod to Bela Lugosi as the original Dracula on screen. Okay.
Well, you also got to give a nod to Christopher Lee. He played Dracula the most.
Do I? I kind of like him as Count Dooku better.
Oh, you got to give respect to Hammer, man.
He doesn't get that role
You just
without
took a
Dracula.
Dooku on Christopher Lee with that one.
He doesn't get that role without Dracula, Dane.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Dane.
So Damon told me to bring like a sucker. Do they eat them in the movie? I don't remember.
Yeah, he was
It's
handing
one
out
of the little
suckers at the
kids.
video store.
I feel so alone because I am obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
I love
forgot to bring
I love
that
the
We have
show.
This
Thank
isn't
you.
live
Okay, you
journal.
had this great for vampires, and I was like, great. Now I'm a loser, but yes, Buffy.
No,
No,
No.
nobody.
now
We've
we're
already
losing.
established nobody agreed with me. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm on an island here. I took his
By
stand.
yourself, buddy.
Even his
Said I-
cat's like, who even are you?
I thought Buffy. I even liked the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like the movie for what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
like Pee Herman in it and his like really expensive death scene.
Yes.
I love. I could just watch that.
Just like-
I love it. I love it.
McWW says I could watch Lenny eat maggots all day, but now he's on to my lollipop.
Gross.
Oh, dang.
That's
With any genre, there's good and bad vampire movies. Anywhere you want to talk anime, you got Hellsing out there. You want to talk live action TV shows, Buffy's probably the best example. If you want to talk movies, you got Near Dark, you got what Salem's that? 30
What was
Days
that
of Night,
soap
maybe?
opera?
You know,
Hey,
Dark
what was that
Shadows.
soap opera?
Dark
Dark Shadows.
Shadows.
Dark Shadow.
Dark Shadows, the soap opera. Yeah.
I mean, the sparkling ones were pretty cool.
I just don't like,
This part,
and Jessica's getting really mad. I just don't like goth. I think like gothic anything. I don't know.
I'm gonna disagree with you there,
Yeah.
but I respect that you take a stand on that. I'm wearing my leather jacket right now, so I got one earring in. I'm like goth. I love it all.
She's ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to join the motorcycle gang and ride off into the beach with the sexy sax man. Like, take me there.
All right, you're cast. You're in the remake. You're star.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Just that's it.
You can be in
Okay.
Rebecca's all-girl cast.
You can be in Rebecca's all girl. Yeah, all girl cast.
Let's
I
do
would
it.
love that.
We used to have at the church at the end of our street, they'd always have a yearly fair, Ferris wheel, tilt-a-whirl, all that crap. And then the year that movie came out, boy, did we ever go out walking around there being all goth. I had motorcycle boots with a fucking spur on them. One, I was Michael.
You were.
Yeah. That was
Kallio.
There you are.
I mean, David, shit.
Bring me that carousel.
Someone said Michael a bunch of times. It confused me.
You're like, I really was Michael. I was like, yes, you were.
Yeah.
God damn Michael, right. Michael, you were Michael.
Yes.
Hey, Michael. Hey, Michael. I'm going to fake tear your ticket, Michael. Is that okay, Michael? Do you really want to watch this again, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm getting annoyed by that. Oh.
Seriously, next time you watch it, it's not just David, too. Like, everybody feels like they have to say his name like 68 times.
Dude, the worst instance of that is in The Edge. In that movie, Alec Baldwin says Charles like 300, like literally 350 times. Charles.
Is this an accurate count?
Yeah, I know. I was like literally
I'm sure it's happened so much that there is probably a count online. Someone did it. How many times was Baldwin played Charles in that movie?
Can we talk about this scene for a little bit? This scene here.
It's a great scene.
Okay, what's great about it? None of those comics are bagged and boarded. Okay.
It's 87.
That's my thing.
The point is that kid knows that he's fucked up there, you know, and they're like, "Oh man, look at all this knowledge that's rapping. Thought he was such a loser."
No, he knows everything about these comics.
Honestly, Sam has the coolest shirts out of anyone in this show, so we got to give him that. You know, he rips some serious style, even though he's the nerdy younger brother.
There's one where he's wearing, and I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately, but he's wearing like stick figures that are like neon colors on his shirt.
You have the balls to wear that. You're cool. Just saying.
I don't have a problem with
Schumacher's fashion industry experience shining through.
None of them seem to fit him. That was my problem.
Yeah, the oversized look is in though. It's the 80s. You know?
All right, so we got 9 of us here. So I think we should start doing our final thoughts, and then we're actually going to give our Cult Filmometer scores after we're done giving our final thoughts for each person, and then we'll keep a running tally of those.
If he's sober enough.
So who do we want to start with? Who would like to set the precedent for, wow, this is going to be this kind of a score for this movie?
I'm really curious on a couple of you people.
I feel like it should be somebody who's done this before.
Let's let the ladies go first.
Rebecca.
What do you want?
So give me your final thoughts and then your score between 0 and 100 for the patented Cult Filmometer.
Okay, well, my final thoughts are that I love this movie. It's in my top 10. And mostly just to see Jason Patrick in his finest moment and all of the long hair vampires, because I love the long hair. And I gave you a 95 because it's very important to me. And I knocked off points because of the almost 0 female representation in the movie. The women in the movie are kind of vapid and weak, and that's not what I'm looking for, though. But yeah,
what's that?
It's to me like a perfect movie. There's not a minute of the movie that I get bored with or that I wouldn't watch.
So 5 points off for really failing the Bechdel test. There was never any point where women even talk to each other, let alone not about men.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Joel Schumacher was in it for the ladies either.
No.
Nor was producer, and we gotta pay tribute to him, Richard Donner.
Oh,
you guys. Yeah. The late Richard Donner. We just lost him recently.
For my homie.
Pour one out for executive producer Richard Donner. Is that Jeff? Is that a Camaro What is
No, that's a Dotson.
that?
Close.
That's the quote of the night right there.
That was close.
I'll drink to that.
Okay, starting off with the 95, and let's go with Matthew Blevins. Now that you know how this works.
All right, so I didn't come around to this movie until my mid-30s. I was like working my way through the film canon by then, and it didn't really register on the radar. I gave it a recent rewatch, and I thought it was endlessly entertaining. If I had found this film instead of Monster Squad in my aunt's VHS like bootleg collection, then my entire life path could have changed. I could have been, you know, riding motorcycles on the boardwalk with Jason Patrick. But as a father watching this movie, I've run a sewer auger before, and I have no idea how hard it is to get vampire chunks out of your plumbing, but I think they're going to have to move. But overall, I'm giving this movie a 72.
72. And that's because you liked it. Okay.
I liked it. Yep.
I see people bristling here. Jessica, let's get this score back up.
I can do that for us. I can do that. So, I agree with Rebecca wholeheartedly. There's just not a minute of this film that bores me, that I'm not interested in, that I'm not in love with. I am, you know, I was born in the 90s, but this is just one of those films that makes me wish that I was born earlier so I could have lived through this time era. So, with that being said, I'm going to read the quote here. Sleep all day, party all night. It's fun to be a vampire. I'm going to drink the blood and say that I still believe. And the only 2 points I'm going to knock off, because I'm going to give this a 98. One, for not enough female cast, female interaction, I agree. And then another point because I want there to be more Tim Capello, who is the sexy sax man. Like, I just want to see him again in the film. So it's a 98 for me.
Matthew, are you writing your costume choice?
Real quick, I just want to throw in that you can see Tim Capello in a Netflix documentary called Warm Stories, where he talks about where he got the cod piece that he wears in the film.
Wow. Soul.
Really good.
Wow.
It's a series.
Why do you know that?
Because I like weird documentaries about random things.
That's what Netflix is for.
Exactly.
Yep.
Jales.
I'm going to say the movie is very...
Oh, go ahead.
What?
Aren't I supposed to give my review first there, Bob?
Yes, that's what I was hoping you were.
Oh, that's it. Yes. Thank you for helping me. It is my first time, so.
Sex will be next.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait.
Well, drink some blood.
I would say, number one, I really think the movie is very entertaining. I feel like it's one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, you should at least see it one time to judge it for yourself. Just because it's very fun. I do think that if you were a kid around the 80s and 90s and you watch it now, you still enjoy it because it takes you back to that time. Where if kids nowadays maybe watch it, they're going to be like, they have no frame of reference. So
there's no werewolves in this to go with the vampire.
Yeah, right.
Fun movie.
Right. So with that being said, I'm going to give it an 80. That's like a B-. And since I'm a teacher, I kind of have to give a grading scale of a B-.
What do you teach? Blood drinking?
Yes.
Mike Kallio.
Yes.
35 times in the theater. How
and
many
more after that? When it came out on VHS, I bought a copy, and this movie to me, I mean, I grew up in this time period where I could dress up like Kiefer Sutherland and walk around a fair at the church down the street and freak everybody out. I made fangs. This movie. I think this is the movie that made me go, I don't want to be a nerd anymore. So I, got the trench coat and the bleach blonde mullet and tried to make the best of it. And look at me now.
I was like, what movie made you go back to being a nerd?
Set you down a bearded path.
That's called laziness.
Oh, I got
Pure laziness. No, all directors have beards, don't they? This movie is very nostalgic for me, and I dig it. It has its flaws. The female thing is definitely something that should have been addressed early on. But thank God they didn't release the pilot for the TV series that they made a couple years ago. It was god awful, and did the same thing. It meant the women were like victims and pushed into the background, and it just wasn't good. So I have 2 scores. I watched this movie. The last time I watched this movie was probably 3 years ago, and I went out afterwards to have a drink, and I ran into Kiefer Sutherland, who I run into a number of times over the years. And we drink and talk about this movie, and then he takes his pants off after everybody leaves. It's very bizarre. But
and he goes, "You guys just say Michael to each other."
Yeah. He wants to suck your blood.
He's like, "How you doing,
Michael?"
I would give this an 80, but hanging out with Kiefer Sutherland and hearing the stories after you just watched it, like an hour prior, that's an 85.
Okay, so 85. I like it.
So 82.5.
So you're taking the average.
His average of these two.
Yes.
Wow. Let me see if I can do that. Okay. All right, I'm back on track.
Don't mean to mess up your maths.
I mean, the Cult Filmometer is back on track. Mojo.
Yes. Okay. So. Yeah. Okay. Good movie, but honestly, this is one that I didn't see till later on, and I'm noticing a very interesting trend of if you saw it when you were younger, you're scoring it a lot higher than some of us who saw it later on, which is odd for me. So it's a lot of weird shit. But this one I probably didn't see until my early 20s. I would say it is really good. I really, just even like upon the opening scene, well, that first kill of almost like the Jaws-like, right? You never see them coming in, but you're seeing their point of view, like in Jaws, giving that like creepiness. Love that. And then moving on to not always doing that the whole time, getting a little bit more crazy. But I don't have as fond memories of it, and it's not a perfect film in my eyes. It is definitely a cult classic. There's so many cult bits about it. So I would say 79.
79.
79. It's a great movie. I think it's definitely within the cult realm, because that was one of the things that I had a hard time with Overboard.
Hey.
Is that it wasn't as high up as culty. If that makes sense.
I made a mistake, and I've been paying for it.
Sensitive Overboard people over here.
You're welcome. Okay, that's it. 79. 79. Sticking to it.
Dame's IV Marvs. Dame's Marvs 4 or IV. Full of blood.
Stop. So I recruited this cast of people here tonight, and I talked to a bunch of other people, and I came to basically a consensus. Most of the females that I reached out to were like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I never really thought of it as, I mean, I like it. And I never really thought of it as like, oh, that could be someone's favorite movie. But I think like movies from that time period that were my favorite movie, like Karate Kid, this is like the more romanticized version of the Karate Kid in like a more fanciful world. Because I don't understand the other new vampire stuff that happens up in Seattle. What's that series called?
Twilight.
Toilet
Saga.
Saga.
I haven't watched it, so fair enough.
He's Team Jacob.
I'd probably love it, but I mean, to me, this is like a Karate Kid that's more romantic, I guess. And that doesn't necessarily mean like person to person, but like just it's a romantic movie. The way it's filmed has an air of romance around it, and I think that might be. Comedic timing is everything, everybody.
Incredibly romantic.
I think.
Oh yes. Woo! Lex Luger makes an appearance.
Now I'm all distracted.
Yeah.
But no, I think
Romantic.
It's fantastic. I mean, like I said, when I was doing the recast, I didn't want to do it over because I don't want to reboot it and ruin what's already there, and I wouldn't change the cast that's there now. So I kind of went stupid with my choices. But overall, I think this movie, when I put it up against every other movie I've ever seen, which is how I do this, it's an 86.
Ooh, it's like Karate Kid with bite.
86.
I think I gave Karate Kid like a 9. They're really close.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
Okay, Jeff, we have mostly, I mean, there's nothing really outside the box, I don't think, for scoring. So is that trend going to continue? Let's hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm a little more lukewarm on this movie in general. I did see this when I was a younger kid. I didn't really get it. I liked Monster Squad. I liked Fright Night at that time. So this one was kind of like somewhere in the middle. As an adult, I do find it way more entertaining now than I did as a kid. So everything's going to kind of balance out a little bit. So what I thought of it as a kid is not going to match up to what I feel like it now. It's very well shot. I love the cinematography on this. A lot of the lighting, camera angles, all of that's like outstanding. Some of the problems I have are not all the characters are very likable in a way. And I feel like the last third of the movie is extremely rushed. Like, it felt like it was over with in like 20 minutes when it could have had another 10 minutes to really expand on everything that was going on and let things sink in. Overall, I'm going to give this a 70.
70.
But it is a very enjoyable movie. Don't go looking for the Blu-ray because it's overly expensive out there. So just sit tight. There's rumors it's getting a 4K remaster, and just sit tight.
Sitting. Tight.
Tight. That's tight. Tight.
I'll buy that shit.
They also like took it off of streaming recently, I noticed too. So and it had been everywhere for free like just a few months ago. So
got to get your VHS copy, friends.
Right. And what a beautiful copy that is.
What a beautiful copy. Thanks to these wonderful fellows who sent it to me.
There you go.
Everybody else is like, I didn't get a review copy.
Yeah, I'm sad now.
On an outdated format.
Whatever. I have a VHS thing over
there.
there.
I don't even.
I got VHS over here too.
All right. I feel like this crew, they know what's up with VHS.
Yeah.
Let's go media people.
What I don't have.
She said
VHS players
the DVD will do until I get a VHS copy. So I was like, all right, we can make that happen.
That she's using a Blu-ray as a coaster right now for her glass of blood.
Right.
Okay, so I already told you guys about my dislike of vampire culture, vampires in pop culture, and all of that. Just don't get it. What Dames was saying about the romanticized stuff, I think that's what I don't like. Like the love scene in this, I'm just like, how can I fast forward this even faster than the fastest setting? Like, or any time that it's just the vampires hanging out, I'm like, no, this is stupid. This is where I go and like make a
don't like sexy time.
No,
yeah.
There's the scenes of them like killing people, drinking blood, eating boxes of maggots. I'm like, this is all I can do without these guys. But the thing that saved this movie,
they're the Lost Boys. If you remove the Lost Boys from the Lost Boys, what would you call the Lost Boys now, would it?
Go jump off a train trestle, Dane.
Okay, but the thing that saves this entire movie is the Frog Brothers and all of their antics, their hilarious lines.
Corey Haim's haircut.
The fact that they're not afraid to like stake Alex Winter to death, like in a cave in broad daylight. This film knew what they had with the characters and the actors that played those characters. So props to Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander as the Frog Brothers. Just very minor props to Corey Haim. He was just so damn annoying in this. But because the film knew what it had in those characters and exploited that to the max, to maximum effect, that saves the score for this film for me. And it's at 81. So,
respectable.
You
all
really
things
like the Frog
considered,
Brothers.
on the patented Cult Filmometer,
Q time.
well, we got to do this because it wouldn't be CF3 without this, right?
You see? Your stupid minds. Stupid.
An 82.61 on the Cult Filmometer. Deems Marvs, where does that put it in the pantheon of covered films?
82.61 puts it just above Joysticks at 81.25 and just below Poltergeist at 86.25.
That's very accurate.
That's fair.
That's very accurate. I love it. I love it. You're like, yeah, that is.
We rated Joysticks way too high, but there we had our reasons.
Yeah, the director gave it 100.
Joe Don Baker.
Yeah, the director gave it 100. Joe Don Baker was like the highlight for that. That definitely was why, but the director gave it 100. So
just to point this out, the Lost Boys now is strategically perfectly located in the dead center of all the movies we've done. Billy Madison was the worst at 52. Total Recall got a 93.5.
Billy
sucks, bro. Plus he gave it a 0. He gave it a 0.
Who gave it a 0? Come on.
The guy that was
0?
Haskins.
Oh, come on. It's way better than a 0.
Larry Hankins, Crazy Carl, and he gave it a 0.
No.
And I thought that was hilarious.
He got bullied on set by Adam Sandler, so there you go. That's why he hated it.
All right, let's come
Check
back
out
and
that episode
our
on
goodbyes.
Project Nerd on YouTube and hear the stories.
Let's come back and say our goodbyes, Dane.
Okay. If you have something to promote, you're free to do so now, and we're going to go one by one with the person who's making a face and a Michael Jackson hat on. Murphy.
Freddy Krueger hat with a thing up there.
That's a Michael Jackson Moonwalker hat.
I am going to promote Billy Madison. You're welcome.
And our episode about it.
May God have mercy on your soul. Yeah, that's all I got. That's it. I have nothing to promote. That's it.
Matthew Blevins.
So if anybody's going out to Colorado Comic-Con, I am going to be in Colorado Springs on August 27th, headlining at Private Label Distillery. You can get your tickets at hahalaps.com/Colorado. I feel like I did that quite professionally.
You did.
Very radio.
Until you called it out.
And then you patted yourself on the back and read
Well, yeah, I have to be meta about it.
There's that word again.
Mike Kallio. Promote the.
I'll be performing at in Moab, Utah, at the Chuckle Hut. No, I have a movie coming out. I don't know when. It's called The Scout. It's a found footage slasher movie we made at the tail end of this reoccurring pandemic. So I'll keep you posted. But it turned out cool, and it's getting released. I just don't know when. There you go. You're welcome. That was important.
Yay! Snaps.
Jales.
Did you say my name?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
I have
missed your turn. All right.
I'm done. See you guys later.
Okay, Jales. You're up.
Promote your hairstylist.
Carissa.
That's his wife. Does she style your hair every morning?
No, she
before
doesn't.
school.
I just wake up, guys.
That's a
I wake
wake-up
up
job. That's a wake-up
wake
job
up like
if
this.
I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I would like to promote Blue Fingernails. It is a mental health awareness nonprofit that I started, and it's a lyric of a song I have, and it just kind of goes together. So just help each other out. BlueFingernails.com.
Nice.
I love you.
Jessica Hottman.
Okay, well, if any of you are into dark music, I have an album coming out this October with my new band called Giveth. And we actually have a song on the record called The Lost Boys. So if you love this film and you wish it had a higher score, please check it out. There's also a song on the record called New Blood, which is going to be in the Friday the 13th fan film that I am acting in called Roseblood, coming out this November. So stay tuned.
I'm going to go to the premiere.
Yes, November 28th.
And you're playing the younger version of Lar Park Lincoln's Tina Shepard from Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
That is correct. Bringing back the 80s once again.
Rebecca Frog Markus.
Okay. Is it excessive to promote two things?
No.
No.
So my podcast is TV Tangents. You can find me with my co-host Natalie on Spotify and all the places, and at TV Tangents on Instagram. I don't know, like just you can find it. We talk about TV and 20th century TV shows and nothing current. Yeah, old stuff. I also have a new novelette coming out next month on Amazon and on Nook and Kobo and all the places. And it's called Sam and Magdalena's Great Escape. So you can pre-order that right now. And it's just like a 50-page story.
Is this about Sam from The Lost Boys?
It is not about Sam from The Lost Boys. It's actually about, it takes place in 50 years in the future. It's about a couple of Gen Xers who are now in a retirement home and they want to get out.
Beautiful.
Check it out.
Let's make the film.
Well, thank you guys for your time. And again, be sure to subscribe to Project-Nerd, youtube.com/project-nerd, and Facebook, same thing. And watch all of our great content. We're doing it week in, week out, and looking forward to having you join us for more of these in the future. Thanks again, everybody. We out.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.